Hey everybody, and welcome to part 3 of my custom Linux flame build. Now, this is pretty much going to be more of a post-mortem. It's been a little bit over a month now since this guy got built. I've done 3 jobs on it now. It's been rock solid, bar the initial testing that I did with the raid. And yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update on how it's going, and yeah, just a quick look at how it holds up in the real world now that it's been put through its paces on a couple of jobs. So the first thing that's pretty important is to look at things that didn't work, and unfortunately the raid card, after many tries, for whatever reason, this guy, the LSI Mega Raid 12 gig, just did not work well in my particular rig. It could be a bunch of different things. It could have been lanes, it could have been the way the X99 motherboard power manages stuff, but all I know is I'm running a software RAID now with direct to motherboard, and I've had 0 issues, and that's in RAID 5, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. So first guy that was a problem, obviously, which is the RAID card. Now, the only other kind of deal breaker issue I had was still to this day, which was the RAM. So getting the full 128 to show up. Again, it's stuck at 96 or 98 or something like that. And I really think now I've swapped the RAM in each slot, and it's just 2 DIMMs on the motherboard that aren't working. And to be honest, I should have RMA'd it, but I just can't be bothered because I've got a bunch of work coming up, and two DIMMs isn't the end of the world for me. So one day when I upgrade my motherboard, I'm sure I'll be happy because it should work. So again, those are kind of the only 2 things that didn't work. Some cool mistakes because of I'll just open up a console. I'll just type df-h. So because of the lanes I had opened up, because I am running the 2 Titan X's, I had 8 lanes to spare. So I got M2 drives. So I just went with the smaller one. So you see it's mapped here, the dev mapper, and it's called Speedy Setups. And you see I just got a smaller drive just to test it out. But this is where I'm saving all my setups. So, the setup for this was the same pretty much as the frame store. It was just mounting it, naming it, and creating a mount point. And I use that guy now for my setups, and it's super quick, and it's doing its job, and I'm very, very happy with it. Again, to each their own, but for me it was working. Now, other things that I think are worth noting too is lots of things didn't do what I thought they would do, in terms of I was warned about the Titan X bug on adding outputs or edit outputs, and that is gone. I'll show you guys in a minute, but that does not exist. Be it the way the drivers are installed, or the steps, or just this particular version. Hopefully it's nipped in the bud. So if anyone's thinking on getting the Pascal architecture for Flame, I can confirm on my rig at least it works. So let's go into Flame. Just want to just show you guys kind of I got a test project that I've set up, the kind of speeds I'm getting. So actually, that's one other thing to quickly note. If I just tab back to terminal, is I'm running a ZFS software RAID. So if I do a new window, just grab this guy. I'm just going to go into super user. And I'm just going to type in zpool status. And you see this guy is my software RAID. So this is used using ZFS, which isn't officially supported. The Autodesk blessed way is, I think, XFS. ZFS is pretty amazing and super quick, and from a management standpoint, using it with RAID 5, the read-write speeds are pretty insane, and I don't know why or whatever, but it's working well. I'm getting faster, or or what I feel like is faster reads than the RAID 5 that I had through the RAID card. So again, it calls it a RAID Z, but it's literally a RAID 5. Right now I'm just using it with 6 drives. So you see I got 2, 4, 6, and then I've got 2 spares just for now. So far it's been rock solid, and the weird thing with it though is it doesn't show up on the mount point. I can't actually add it to a mount point, so it doesn't actually show up in disks, the disks thing where you can do the test. But if I just go into preferences here, I'll just do Control-Alt-F6. If I just do storage and I do test disks, you'll see you get some crazy big numbers, like 27 gig, which is mental, right? So just to kind of prove a point in terms of what speeds I've been getting on this guy, I've got this is just I think it's the Red 8K. It's free footage on the Red site. You can download to test their footage, and I'm just going to alt over it. You see, this one is 8K at 16-bit at 25, and then I've just downsized one to 4K at 16-bit, and then again another one at 1920 1080 16-bit, and they're like Control-Alt-T, so like 5 seconds, right? So let's just have a look. Hopefully this still works with the screen recording, but let's just loop, and let's just press play. So you can see HD at 16 float, 5 seconds loop. It can play back fine. We're not seeing any frame drops, so this is good. This is what you want. Again, it's pretty interactive, which is good. So let's just go back to real. So let's try it on something more real world. So again, this is 4K 16 floats. It's not light by any means. Again, let's just press play, and you see it's nice and smooth again. So again, this software RAID with 6 this RAID 5 with 6 drives through software RAID is able to play and sustain 16 float fairly. Again, no drop frames. We're not getting any blue, and I hope this is even with the screen recorder going, so it's pretty cool. Let's go crazy, right? So I'm going to open this, and here it is. So this is 8K 16 float, no proxies on this guy. It's all it's all there, sitting there. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to press play, and we're getting real-time playback of 8K, which is pretty nuts. I've read that I'm pretty sure ZFS utilizes RAM while it's doing stuff too, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's borrowing from RAM. But the ability to press play without having to do RAM play, which is kind of slower too, but just being able to play through my disks at 8K at 16-bit float is nuts. It's absolutely nuts. So yeah, I'm super happy with the ZFS setup. So again, let's I'm just gonna go to a batch. This is a batch that Jesper Nybro, I hope I say his name right. He sent me a setup that he confirmed on an iMac took 14 minutes, and on my guy, this guy took 4 minutes. So it was a nice substantial exponential increase in renders. So this guy really slows down due to we've got a bunch of denoises. See, denoise, regrains. I think there's some more denoises over here. Yeah, and if we just go F4, see, it does take a little while. It does chug a little. This is a heavier setup. I'm just stepping through, jumping to different points in it, and you see, it does take a little bit to redraw. But again, this is the other thing I wanted to show too. Now that I'm in Super User 2, I just want to show you some useful things that I use to monitor temps. So there's one thing to do, which is you go through yum and you do install sensors. I think if I do yum install sensors, it's gonna look for it. Give it a second. Okay, no sensors available. Anyway, usually it's, off the top of my head, I don't actually know it then, but you look for, it's just literally installing sensors. By default too, I believe, I may be wrong, but there's another guy that lives, that you can only run on root, which is turbostat. So I'm just going to do turbo stat. So the other thing to note is this system is the i7-6950X. Its default gigahertz frequency is 3, with I think 3.5 turbo boost or whatever. But I've set this up, and I'll put a link on the page to the guy who I copied for the overclock for this particular motherboard and chip, which was very lucky. And I'm running what is a successful 4 gigahertz overclock. So you see the busy megahertz is right around the 4 to 3, and this is kind of, again, apparently in Linux it doesn't always show up through, if you're looking through like the proc CPU stat info stuff, which I'm still getting my head around, it won't actually show the proper frequencies, whereas this guy, it will show it. So, and the other thing too is it shows my temperatures too. So the other thing, if I just do new window, that I'd like to do too is I like to use watch and then NVIDIA SMI, and this guy gives me my fan speed, temperature, power draw, and then the usage of RAM. So again, let's test it out. That's the other thing too. I just want to quickly, this is a heavier setup. Let's just dismiss this this edit output bug. And again, I've used it on other jobs too, but let's just do it on the fly so you can see. I'm gonna Control Alt the output. Okay, yes, that's doing what I want. Whatever, output, and let's go add, and then go add a bunch, and let's go Alt E. Let's edit outputs. Again, nothing. It's probably, someone might say, oh, this isn't the crazy setup, but again, I've used this on bigger setups with multi stuff, and it's been fine. So there you go. So let's quickly just render this up so we can, again, this is something I like to do, is just quickly monitor temps. So I'm just going to go to background reactor and then render range, and we'll go confirm. And you see this guy's going to start nice and quick. Now, if we go over here, you'll see the really interesting thing I've noticed too, the more I've played with this this setup, is Flame. It barely, like my CPU touches 45, maybe 46. It's never gone higher, and it's overclocked. When it was just at normal stock too, it would sit at probably about 40. So the overclock has increased the temperature by like 5 degrees, and well within safe. Now the only part of this system that does get hot is these Titans. Now you can see they're drawing a bunch of power, right? We are burning, and they were just up to 200 out of 250 watts, which is fine. They're high power cards. The other thing to note too is it's hitting at 82. All the sites I've seen on these guys, for their full load temperature, the fans go to maybe 50, 55, and like the acceptable, what is normal high under load temperature, is between 80 to 86. I've never seen mine go over 86. I've seen it go to 85, I think. So yeah, it's working. And again, you can see this is just on my second GPU, and it's getting up there quick. But this is pretty cool because it shows you how much and again, I'm able to do other things while this is happening. Let's see if I can play this back. So you see, like, I'm able to do things again, like for all the background reactor haters that say it doesn't work properly, I say it's not set up properly personally. Just like for people that are into burn, they say it's not set up right, which is kind of ironic because backburner requires no setup. So go figure that one out. So that's again, that's burning in the background. The other thing I wanted to show too is I have this hooked up direct to internet. There's always the correct Autodesk way to set things up. So I'm gonna jump out of Flame. I'm just gonna Alt F12. So let's see if we can see these temperatures again, like kind of update, and this guy will go down. We can keep that there. Now, if we just close him. Now, one thing I did set up So it's in root, Etsy, and then system config. And if we go to somewhere down, I'm just going to put it here. Somewhere here. Go network scripts. And you see this ifcfg config etho. Now I'm going to open this. And I'll go, okay, right, whatever. Now this is the other thing to note is on install of this, using this is a thing. I found a website that told me this is what, because my internet was not working by default when I just installed the cable and it was freaking out. This is my etho config by default. These are the settings I've piped in there, and I've had zero issues, zero downtime, zero problems with the dreaded background, the back burner guy. Again, background reactor worked, background, like everything background and back burner works now, and it did by default. And you know, whether it's a combination of this, the fact that it's not in a shared environment, and again, this is, all your results may vary on this type of stuff, but yeah, I was super impressed that it worked by default. And yeah, you know, that was my biggest fear, jumping to Linux in the first place. I knew that it was quick. I knew that I actually didn't anticipate how much quicker. The speed of this guy can be insane sometimes in terms of interaction and, you know, being able to jump on different shots. But yeah, that's this is, you know, that's gonna be it for this post-mortem, guys. Yeah, I really hope that for anyone thinking about doing this, you know, you can learn from me, and you know, you don't have to get the same RAID card or RAM or motherboard. But yeah, I just thought it'd be really interesting to put this out there into the Flame community so people can see, you know, you're not tied to the other systems. Again, I'm not saying there's not anything wrong with them. I'm saying you can build your own. It can work out cheaper. It all depends on your config. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Stay tuned for more.